The courtroom was silent. You could feel the tension hanging in the air, like something big was about to happen. The old wood of the door creaked as it opened, and all eyes turned. But only for a moment. Most didn't care. They had seen men like him before, too old, too broken. They didn't think he had anything worth listening to. But Robert Clay, 79 years old, walked in slowly, with purpose. Not hesitation, just a calm, steady presence that somehow commanded the room, without saying a word. He wore a dark green flannel shirt, old but pressed, and pants faded from many winters. His boots, cracked at the seams but polished with pride, told a story of a man who refused to show the world anything less than whole. He carried a worn felt hat, soft and creased, almost like a flag, not for show, but for memory. As he reached the defense table, the whispers started. They weren't loud, but they were there. "Another squatter," someone muttered. Why waste court time on him? But Robert Clay didn't flinch. He had heard it all before. He had been judged, underestimated, for most of his life. But today, he wasn't here to defend himself. He was here to see if the system still had the courage to meet his gaze. The judge, Harold Baxter, adjusted his robes with a practiced indifference, flipping open the case file with a bored flick of the wrist. Robert Clay, 79 years old, unlawful occupation of city property, he droned, hardly looking up. No permanent address, no legal counsel, no steady employment, no respect for the law. Robert didn't react. He had been judged by bigger men in bigger rooms for smaller reasons. The judge didn't see a builder. He didn't see a veteran. He saw an old black man, and that's all he wanted to see. "Mr. Clay," Judge Baxter said, finally looking up with a sneer, "you have 2 minutes. Say what you need to say before I pass sentence." Robert Clay didn't stand up. He didn't reach for a speech. He didn't need to. He simply looked up, his eyes steady, unblinking, and said, "I'll speak when you're ready to listen." A few murmurs ran through the room, but the judge just scoffed. "Are you wasting my time?" Robert's voice, when it came, was calm but firm. "That house, it used to be mine. I helped build the city." His words landed like stones thrown into a calm pond, ripples of surprise spreading across the courtroom. The judge chuckled dismissively, thinking it was a joke. But Robert's voice didn't shake. "I held a pencil before I could hold a book. I built walls to cradle the broken, rooms to shelter the grieving. I built spaces meant to heal. Now I sit before walls that judge me." The courtroom was silent, but it was a different kind of silence now. The kind that makes people shift in their seats. The kind that makes them uncomfortable. But the judge wasn't ready to hear it. He didn't care about the past. He just cared about the law, the letter of it. And Robert Clay was breaking it. "So what?" the judge sneered. "You think your past excuses your trespassing?" Robert Clay met his eyes without malice. "No, sir. I'm saying the law has a memory problem." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, no one knew how to respond. But the courtroom wasn't done with Robert Clay yet. The judge slammed his gavel. 30 days in county jail," he declared. Robert didn't flinch. He just looked down at his worn leather watch, then back up at the judge. "May I make one call?" The judge sneered. "To whom?" "Your old drinking buddies." Robert didn't respond. The bailiff handed him the phone, and Robert dialed a number he knew by heart. He lifted the phone to his ear and said only 3 words. "It's time now." Then he hung up, calm as ever. No one knew what had just happened, but the room seemed to hold its breath. A moment later, the doors to the courtroom opened again. This time, no one expected what came next. Carmen Clay, Robert's daughter walked in. She didn't ask for permission. She didn't need to. She simply placed one hand on her father's shoulder and pulled out a folder, opening it without a word. Inside were the documents, the property agreements, city commendations, architectural certifications, everything Robert had worked for, everything he had built. Carmen didn't speak. She didn't need to. The truth was right there in front of them. Judge Baxter's face drained of color. His mouth moved, but no sound came. Finally, Carmen spoke. My father wasn't asking for a favor. He wasn't asking for pity. He was asking to sit on the porch he built. The judge's mouth opened and closed, and he cleared his throat. Motion granted. It wasn't mercy. It wasn't a victory. It was a surrender. Robert Clay stood, tipped his worn hat onto his head, and walked out of the courtroom with dignity. Not triumph. At the threshold, he paused, turned back, and said, "Start listening. Start seeing." And just like that, a man who had been overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed had reminded them all what justice really looked like. No drama, no fanfare, just a quiet truth that changed everything. Call to action. What do you think? Should justice be measured by the law, or by the truths we often overlook? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe we need to start listening and seeing the truth, like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Let's continue the conversation.